So I was just scrolling through my Instagram and I found this interesting article from Bloomberg Business talking about all the ways that crypto broke in 2022. And once you press on the link, you're actually going to be taken to a Bloomberg Business page with a lot of different articles and inventions such as the Chinese startups, $140,000 flying car flying over traffic jams. Okay, very interesting news source. I'm going to link it down below. But we're going to talk about crypto, right? And it's a very, very interesting article explaining literally everything happening in 2022 and how a seemingly decentralized world of cryptocurrencies ended up being quite centralized because a lot of these things that happened in 2022 were interconnected. Now, what does this mean? No, it doesn't mean that crypto is centralized and that it's going to die down. It simply means that not enough people are into crypto to make it as decentralized as it can be, leading up into the future. So let's get into it. It's quite a long article, quite a long read. So let me just introduce the topic to you. As 2021 came to a close, it was a very good year, right? People were on high horses. Non-fungible tokens, NFTs, have crossed into the mainstream. A lot of people were talking about Bitcoin versus Ethereum, which means that, all of this knowledge in the market was actually increasing, right? Very good. Some people even pretended to understand algorithmic stablecoins, but, not a lot of people actually did, but that's a story for another day. Now, fast forward just 1 year, and everyone's talking about Sam Bankman-Fried, the fallen FTX empire, Luna, Terra, Wormhole, all of these hacks, all of these things that you can actually check out on the Satoshi Club channel, because I did make a lot of videos this year explaining a lot of these things that have actually happened, including the Terra Luna crash, including the Wormhole crash, including the FTX and all of this stuff happening. So you can check that out on the channel, but in general, we are in a crypto winter at this point. And after the collapse of the Terra USD algorithmic stablecoin, major crypto players fell like dominoes, right? 3 Arrow Capital, Voyager Digital, Celsius Network, FTX, and BlockFi followed as well. The hits kept coming, but it wasn't all downside, at least at first. The Super Bowl, one of the largest sporting events in the US, featured splashy, celebrity-filled commercials for crypto companies, including Coinbase, Crypto.com, and FTX as well, which was still riding high. Now, crypto prices, regardless of this, kept falling, right? Even though all of these celebrities endorsed all of these cryptocurrencies, which is something that you can check out in my previous video. Even though, Bitcoin actually was quite stable at that time, it did fall by a 60%. NFT prices fell back to earth. And right now, I'm going to show you exactly everything that happened throughout 2022. Very interesting year, to say at the least. So, you have different market events, right? So these are pink. You've got hacks, which are blue. You've got bankruptcies, which are green. Enforcement, which is light blue. And layoffs, which are red. Or sorry, not red, yellow, or whatever, orange. Okay, so the market cap was 2.5 trillion in January of 2022. The all-time high in the crypto market, right? And what you can see right here is, first of all, the Wormhole hack happened, right? Where about $300 million was stolen from Wormhole, okay? That didn't really significantly affect the market. The market just fell, and then it kind of increased again. And then BlockFi got fined by the SEC. The market just kind of chilled once again. Ronin got hacked, right? And then we saw another top form, and then we just saw the market cap slightly start moving down, right? Then we saw the Terra collapse. Then we saw, quite a bigger fall when it comes to the prices. SEC starts investigating Binance. CFTC sues Gemini. Celsius freezes withdrawals, right? Big red flag. Coinbase cuts 18% of staff. Horizon Bridge gets hacked. 3 Arrows files for bankruptcy, right? This is where the moments are actually starting. Voyager Digital files for bankruptcy, and it all happened as a result of Terra's collapses. So as you can see, when Terra collapsed, the market cap took a huge hit, right, in just a few weeks. So that's something that you should keep in mind as well. And, later on, Celsius files for bankruptcy as well. MicroStrategy's Sailor drops the CEO role, so he escapes the whole MicroStrategy thing. US sanctions Tornado Cash, another cryptocurrency company. Alameda co-CEO Trabuco resigns, right? Interesting timing, okay? Wintermute got hacked as well. Kraken's Powell drops CEO role. SEC investigates Yuga Labs, the NFT creators. Binance says it will sell FTX native tokens. FTX Group files for bankruptcy. BlockFi files for bankruptcy as well. And Sam Bankman-Fried arrested in Bahamas, charged by SEC, CFTC, and Department of Justice as well. So As you can see, what 2022 showed more than once is that the digital asset ecosystem is significantly more interconnected and concentrated than even its biggest participants might have realized. So this Terra ecosystem itself operated in two major tokens, right? Luna and Terra USDT. And once again, you can check this out in my previous Terra video, but USD began a steady decline away from its dollar peg, and this whole situation basically exploded or imploded or whatever you want to call it. So there is another interesting, chart right here, where we see a few more things about how all of these things are actually, interconnected. So you have key players right here, right? So Celsius, 3AC, Terra, FTX Group, and those are the key players. You got creditors or clients of these people. So you have Genesis, for example. You've got Wintermute and all of these things. You got equity investors, right? Which are, investors such as me and you. And pretty much anything else. So you have Terra connected to Wormhole as well. Terra was connected to the FTX group in some way, shape, or form as well, indirectly as well, which you're going to see in a few minutes. And you have token holders as well, which are people like me and you. So Binance is here as well, but Binance actually meant to they actually survived this whole thing. So we're going to talk about Binance as well. So many companies invested in Terra or its parent, Terraform Labs, typically by holding Luna tokens or USD stablecoins. And as you can see, 3AC, invested into it. Hashed, invested. Hodlnot, invested. Galaxy, Jump Trading, Coinbase, and Binance. It's all interconnected and users were using everything. Now, next up, we have that Galaxy Digital was one of the biggest known losers from Terra's collapse, right? Galaxy is right here. And the company, founded by billionaire CEO Michael Novogratz, posted a 555 million quarterly loss in August. So Galaxy started taking hits, right? Revealing its $77 million exposure to FTX, right? And they started taking hits because of the whole Terra situation, right? Terra collapses, it hits Galaxy, and now Galaxy reveals that it has a lot of holdings in FTX, okay? Now moving on, right? We do have the Binance made a $3 billion investment in the Terra project in 2018, right? So the value of its tokens they received rose to as high as 1.6 billion, and the CEO Chang Penzal says that he, suggested a heavy loss when Luna collapsed, but in general, Binance lost 1.6 billion when Terra collapsed. So that's how Binance was connected to this whole entire story. Now moving on, we have that hackers stole about $600 million from Ronin, the blockchain bridge platform connected to online games Axie Infinity. Binance also invested into Ronin creator Sky Mavis when it raised 150 million to help plug the hole. So Binance was there as well, but Binance is kind of on the outskirts of the entire thing. And look at this, Binance revealed a plan to sell 530 million of FTX's FTT token in November after a report showed that much of the balance sheet of FTX's sister trading house, Alameda Research, was comprised of the tokens. So Binance did their due diligence. I made a video about this as well. Check it out up here on the side. Just Google Satoshi Club. Just check on YouTube, Satoshi Club, FTX collapse, and you're going to learn everything you need to know about that situation. But that's when FTX started getting involved in this whole situation. Now, furthermore, Jump was a large investor in Terra as well, and one of its senior executives was on the governing council of the Luna Foundation Guard. So Wormhole was also included in this as well, right? And the LFG spent nearly $3 billion attempting to rescue USD's pegs as Terra collapsed. So yeah, Jump tried to help, they couldn't help, and then months earlier, Jump actually shouldered around $320 million in costs after one of its investments, a Solana-based bridge platform called Wormhole, was hacked. So Jump trading got affected by Wormhole, lost liquidity, and then, basically got affected by Terra as well. So very difficult situation for Jump trading as well. Now, Hodlnot also halted withdrawals, but this is a little bit smaller, and in general, they were connected between Terra and FTX Group as well. You can see 3AC, so it's a crypto hedge fund, 3 Arrows Capital, entered liquidation in June after it failed to meet margin calls, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore later reprimanded the fund for providing false information and exceeding asset allowances. So also messed up by Terra, right? Now we have FTX Group and BlockFi, right? BlockFi took an 80 million hit from the depth of 3 Arrows, right? 3 Arrows collapsed. BlockFi loses 80 million. The company received $400 million in credit from FTX US in an agreement, and BlockFi filed for bankruptcy after FTX collapsed because this credit line was unavailable anymore, and they were basically screwed, right? So BlockFi goes away as well. Voyager Capital as well declared more than $660 million in exposure to 3 Arrows in June and raised $485 million in loans from FTX's Alameda to steady the ship. So Voyager was absolutely caught up between these two and just absolutely went bankrupt very, very soon after. Now we have the Digital Currency Group, which was also connected to the parent company of the crypto broker and leader Genesis, emerged as the largest creditor of 3 Arrows in July with a $1.2 billion claim. And basically they started cutting their workforce, they started losing exposure, and what happened was they were $175 billion down in FTX exposure. And yeah, they are seeking for $1 billion in fresh funding right now to avoid bankruptcy. And Gemini was also impacted by the turmoil because they had to halt redemptions on its yield product for retail investors, as Genesis was a key partner, and now Genesis is a big problem because of FTX. Now, Celsius Network also was disclosing a huge deficit after 3 Arrows Capital went bankrupt, and among its creditors was FTX's Alameda with a claim of around $13 million. This is not too much money, but Celsius actually was more messed up by 3AC collapsing than FTX itself, but 3AC was more messed up by FTX itself, which ended up influencing Celsius as well. So moving on, what we can see is that after days of turmoil that began with Binance's FTT announcement, FTX Group filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on November 11th, encompassing more than 130 entities, including Alameda and FTX US. It is expected to owe billions of dollars to creditors, and the following month, founder Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas and charged with wire fraud and other allegations by US authorities. So pretty cool stuff on this chart right here. You can see how interconnected everything is and how the FTX fiasco ensnared some of the biggest names in finance and just messed a lot of things up, right? Including the SoftBank Group, Sequoia Capital, and Temasek. They wrote down the value of their FTT shareholdings to zero as FTX collapsed because they didn't want to be part of it. So as you can see, these are independent equity investors, and they are, they were investors in the FTX Group, but they declared that they had nothing to do with it. Now, among those that were impacted was Tiger Global as well, which had a $38 million stake in FTX, and they also invested in now bankrupt lender, invested into BlockFi and this troubled crypto firm Babel Finance. And in general, I don't want to bore you too much more about this stuff. You have Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, all of these celebrities also investing into FTX, providing marketing from them. You have many major crypto firms interacting with FTX Group's multiple entities said that their funds got stuck and they were completely messed up when FTX went bankrupt. And in general, crypto CEOs, not a group that could ever be described as shy or retiring, are pointing fingers at each other right now and at regulators for the multiple failures that marked the year. Meanwhile, retail investors, some of whom lost their life savings to market wipeouts, hacks, or potential fraud, are left holding the bag, with many wondering whether they should have gotten involved in the first place. Is there a way to fix all the ways crypto broke in 2022? Skeptics and fans alike expect more rules and more regulation, especially in the realm of consumer protection, but we all know that Bloomberg is very, very biased. Now, regulation is not bad, but the regulation that Bloomberg is probably going to push for is not the regulation that we want to see. And this whole situation just is a good thing for the crypto world, because all the bad players were taken out in one single big move, and only the strongest were kept standing. Same goes for traders, same goes for investors. If you were holding all of your life savings on a exchange such as FTX, it's a bad idea. You deserve to lose your money. You should have gotten educated. You should have came to my channel before and learned a little bit more about how to be safe when it comes to wallets and hardware wallets. And you can check out one of those videos on my channel as well. So that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below with your favorite thoughts, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Merry Christmas.